Meow, 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 la 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 la. Hello again! I think it's a standard now that the gaps between the videos are so long, but I don't think that anyone cares. So, like I said at the end of the first video of Sewing with Ray, this one will have a bunch of stuff I've made over these past few months. Hate to disappoint, but there were only 3 projects, and those were my Valentine's Day dress, reborn from a different dress, a steampunk skirt from white shiny fabric, which I don't know the name of, and a long green lustrous dress with a crystally flare. So, the Valentine's Day dress is the longest story. You've already could have seen it in the shorts, but not the dress it originally came from. This is the original dress. Ugly, poorly made, and most importantly, unfit for use. But also it was the first dress I've ever made. And yes, I decided that it would be a perfect idea to make a corset dress for my first ever dress. Yes, I am so smart. This dress was actually made for a contest, and I would stay up till very late to finish it. My hands even bled a little sometimes. Obviously, I didn't qualify, but I put a lot into this dress, so I couldn't just throw it out. Also, it would be a waste of material, so yeah. And that's how we're here. I decided to cut out the skirt part and make another dress, this time for my first Valentine's date. This dress was super easy to make. For the top, I just cut down a rectangle of the same fabric I've used for the skirt back when I sewed it originally. And then I started pinching it down at the back to create an open back look. Then I sewed it at place and used a steamer to keep folds at the right place. After that, I'd cut another rectangle, this time from this pretty satin fabric to create this off-shoulder sleeve effect that you can also wear as straps if you want to feel more secure. For the bottom, I've just pinched a lot of fabric to the bottom seam and cut it out the way I wanted. Must admit, ultimately it came out a little too long, but overall I think this dress was a success. Now for the skirt, basically something came over me at some random ass night and I started sewing a skirt. No plan, no nothing, which was my biggest mistake for this project. For most part, everything went smoothly. First I started making it like a simple circle dress and then I decided to pinch it up at both sides. I did it the same way you make puff sleeves, actually. I'll link that short in description. Now for my biggest mistake. My lazy ass, instead of adding a zipper or a rubber band, decided that she'll add a random string to tie. And that could have worked. But instead of using a buttonhole seam to make it neat or something, I tried to do it by hand. Why? It came out terribly. But thankfully, I can always add a belt on top to hide it. Just so you know, if you were my actual client, I would never do something like that. But this skirt was for me, so I had some room for making mistakes. But overall, I really like this skirt, despite the belt part. Now, onto the third project, this beautiful dress. I got the fabric when I was out of town for shopping and I have found this little fabric store by the street. Normally I buy my fabric from the internet, so shopping there was a magical experience for me. Really, roaming through fabrics, finding the one I like. It was great, really. Although I only had enough money to buy around 3 yards of fabric. So I need to decide on one. I had this idea for the dress since I saw the fabric. Although the design looked a little different at first, it came out perfectly. And to be honest, it wasn't even that hard. Firstly, I cut out a rectangle for the top and looped it around the neck. Then I pinched the fabric at both ends, and that's basically that. For the skirt part, guess what? Cut another rectangle out. Wow, so surprising. I measured to what point I want the slit to be and sewn two sides of the rectangle like that. For the crystal accessories, I used a garland which I modified so it looks like I wanted it to be. Then I used another thread and sewed certain parts of this dress to the garland so it holds another, and ta-da! That's basically how I made this dress. Super easy. Okay, so this is editing Ray, and I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit sick right now, so I might sound a little off. I apologize for that. I had originally a different audio recorded for the outro, but I decided to record another one, a new one, because this video took way longer than it was supposed to, and I think if anyone watches this, I think there needs to be an explanation for why is that. So originally all of these projects were made between January and April of 2025. And right now, when I'm recording this, it's the end of September. There's a few reasons why it took so long to edit all of this. But the main one is because I have a friend, a person in my personal life who have volunteered to edit this video for me. However, they had a problem, and they kind of still have a problem with their computer, with their program which they were supposed to use. And ultimately they backed down like just recently, and I am editing this right now. I don't know if this person will want to be my editor later on, but for now I am back at the job, and that's why, even though I recorded this back February, March, and like at the beginning of the year, it's just now uploading. So yeah, I hope what I'm saying makes sense, because I don't have a script in front of me, and I'm not sure if I'm speaking correctly in English, because English isn't my main language. If you probably could recognize this just listening to how I'm speaking. So yeah, that's basically all. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you somehow soon. Bye bye!